Hello, students. Today I am going to teach you how to draw a snowman using a few different shapes. We have some geometric shapes right now. Let's take a good look at these geometric shapes. A good look at these geometric shapes. Remember, geometric shapes have names, and they're shapes that we recognize and know. So looking at those shapes, look at our snowman right now and see if you can find a few of those shapes. I spy 1, 2, 3 shapes, and sometimes these shapes are used more than once. Oh, I see the first geometric shape I see are these circles for the snowman's body. Oh, I also see some rectangles. I see a rectangle that's part of the scarf and 2 rectangles on the hat. One's a tall ways rectangle and one is a sideways rectangle. Oh, I see a triangle for the nose. You probably spotted that. And this part of the scarf could either be a triangle. You could also use a trapezoid for that if you wanted to. Oh, I noticed that even the buttons going down are little circles. Oh, there's more circles than I thought. Okay, so today I'm just going to teach you how to use some various shapes and a few lines to draw our snowman. Now, I'm going to show you one thing today that we have not talked about, and that is value. So value is how light or how dark something is. Now, the second graders, maybe even some of the kindergartners and first graders, once we're done drawing our snowman, I'm going to show you how to add just a little bit of value to your snowman and your hat and maybe even your nose to give our art some form. Form is when we have something that's three-dimensional. So we're going to take these two-dimensional shapes, and by adding a little bit of a dark value to the sides, make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Value is just a word we use in art to say whether something is light, middle, or dark. We are also going to be doing a little bit with space. Space is one of our elements of art. We can show that something is closer to us when we show overlapping. Overlapping is putting one thing in front of another. Ooh, I noticed something. The snowman must be in the front because it is overlapping the hills in the background. Okay, so we're just going to start out real basic. And of course, when we get to the value, you can add value in if you want to, but if that's too difficult for you, don't worry about it. In fact, today, as we draw our snowman, you'll be able to add your own details. You could add different kinds of clothes to yours if you want to, maybe a little bird perched on the arm of your snowman, or you could add a shovel to your snowman's hand. There's a lot you could do. Very first thing we're going to do is about 1 inch from the bottom. We're going to draw a large circle. That's step 1, is draw your large circle. And I'm just kind of overlapping mine a little bit. You don't have to do that if you want to. Sometimes in art you draw until you feel like it's the shape you like. You can either go back and erase some of the bits if you want to. So that's my large circle. It's about 4 inches in diameter. That means 4 inches this way and 4 inches that way. Oh, I notice I'm going to add my second geometric shape, which is a circle that's just slightly smaller. So here, on top of this circle, let me draw a smaller circle. There we go. And guess what? It does not have to be perfect because you just need to always do your best. Your best is good enough for me. Your best might not look like Miss Tron's best. Your best is going to be your own best. Okay, so now I have my medium-sized circle, and up here at the top, I am going to make my smallest circle for my snowman's head. Okay, now the hat on our snowman is a tall rectangle with a rectangle on its side underneath it, a skinny rectangle and a thick rectangle, okay? So right here at the top, I am going to draw a horizontal line that touches my snowman's head, the top of the head. Okay? Then I'm going to go down maybe like about 1 centimeter, just a little bit on each side. So I'm going to do a line down here and a line down here. And then I'm going to do a line across just like that for my snowman's hat. Okay? Now in the middle of this, I am going to make on the top of the skinny rectangle, I am going to make a tall rectangle. I'm going to draw a line like this, and a line like this, and a horizontal line at the top. So now I have my little hat all ready to go. All right. So let's move on to our nose. Our nose is a triangle on its side. It's kind of like if you put it in this direction, it's a triangle pointing up, but we're going to point our triangle to the side. So I'm going to find about the center of my snowman's face, and I'm going to draw a little line down. So a little vertical line down about 1 centimeter tall, just like that. Then I am going to bring those two lines together in a point. So I'm just going to bring one diagonal line down like that. I might even have it go off the snowman's face a little bit. And then I'm going to do a diagonal line like this. So my snowman now has his pointy carrot nose. Now, some of you second graders might have really higher abilities. I did this lesson with my 3rd through 5th graders. They took their snowman, made their snowman a little bit more difficult. So today, what you can do is you can add 2 little circles for an eye. A little circle here and a little circle here. You can just color them in with your pencil, or you can wait till the end and you can use some crayons if you want to. All right. Moving on to my snowman's mouth. Now, snowman, when I was growing up, I lived somewhere where there was snow, and we always used little pebbles for the snowman's mouth and for his buttons on his chest. So what you're going to do right here is you're just going to make some little circles that go down and curve around in a smile on your snowman's face. So kind of curving down, just doing little circles that curve around. Oh, almost forgot. Gotta move on to the scarf. Now, I'm going to, between the torso, that's this middle circle, and the head, right here where they meet, I'm going to draw a rectangle over that space, just like that. Okay? And if I want to, I don't have to, but if I want to, I can go back and erase those little lines that were on there. So now I've got the beginnings of my scarf. We can draw a triangle down to give our scarf a little end to it. So find somewhere on here where you want your scarf to be. I'm just going to do 2 little diagonal lines down, and then a little horizontal line at the bottom. So that's my scarf dangling down. And we'll go back in and add some details later. Now, you can decide whether or not you want to do this, but you can add some little circles down for buttons. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm just going to add some circles down. All the way down his chest. Okay? But you don't have to do that if you want to. Moving on to our twigs for arms. Now, the very little kids might want to, for instance, my kindergartners, I can show the kindergartners 2 ways to do the arms. If you're in kindergarten, you might just want to do 1 straight line, 1 line up, and 1 line down for your arms. So it's a straight line out, 1 line out, and 1 line down to make your arms. You can even have them, maybe you could have one going up waving. That's a very easy way to do it. But I also want to show something a little bit harder, okay? And it's kind of funny, but when you look at the snowman's arms, it's kind of like it's a letter Y, a long, skinny Y. So how am I going to do that? First things first, right around here on the snowman, I'm going to draw a line out. And then, just a little bit below that, maybe just a centimeter down, I'm going to draw another line just like it. So I'm copying the line. Like I said, if this is too hard for you, you can just do your arms like this and fast forward to the next part in the video. But this is a way we can make them look a little bit different. So here I am at the top of the line. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little diagonal line up from the top line and a little diagonal line down from the bottom line. Let me bring that closer so you can see it. So you see that this line went out and then it went, the top line made a diagonal line up and the bottom line made a diagonal line down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a wide V here. I'm kind of matching this space. So I'm going to start right here, just a little bit over, and I'm going to follow it down in a diagonal and then down in a diagonal like that. So it's just kind of like a, see if I can draw that a little better so you can see it better, but it's kind of like a little shape like this. You can even look at it like that, okay? So that's what I got going on for my little arm. And I can add 2 little lines on either side to end the little branch. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. In fact, maybe this guy's got his, we could do another arm to the side, or you could do an arm up in the air. It's really up to what you want to do. So once again, I'm going to draw a line, 1 line. It's the same thing we did on this side, but now we're just doing it on the other side. Now, I'm going to copy that line just a little bit down like this. Okay? So see, it's 2 parallel lines. 2 lines going in the same direction. Now, same thing as before. The top line's going to go up at a diagonal, and the bottom line's going to go down at a diagonal, if you can see that. Okay? Same thing again. I'm just going to go in a little bit from that top diagonal, and I'm going to draw a little V shape. And that's going to be my snowman's hand. And of course, if you want to add more branches on your snowman's hand, you can. You can do a lot of different things. Okay. Now, there's a few ways. Actually, I'll add the background and then we'll talk about details. I'm going to make some snowy hills in my background. Now, you don't have to do that on yours. You could have ice skaters in the background. You could have a cabin. You could draw another snowman next to the snowman. At this point, you can kind of take your art in your own direction. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some overlapping, making the snowman look like it's in front of the hills. That's how I'm going to use space. Create space is by overlapping. Okay, so here I go. Right down here on the bottom, I'm going to go up maybe about 2-3 inches. I'm going to draw a, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because the ground's not perfectly straight, but I'm doing a line here, skipping over my snowman and continuing the line on the other side. Okay, my next hill is going to curve up. So I'm going to go up maybe 1 inch on this side, and I'm going to make my line go up at a diagonal till it reaches my snowman's tummy. And then I'm just going to have it, I'm going to, remember, hop over. It's kind of like this line is going behind, the top of this hill is going behind the snowman, and I'm going to continue it up and make it go like that. Okay, and my other hill, once I've done that, I'm going to bring my line down here. I'm going to go down a little. I'm going to go in about maybe 1 inch on this side, and I'm going to do a slight diagonal that goes up, goes to the hat, and jumps over it. So it looks like I've got some hills in the background. But you don't have to do that. You could, like I said, you could do anything in the background. Ooh, if you are making the hills, though, maybe there could be some sledders in the background. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is pretty cool. I'm just going to add some details to my scarf. So you can color this in if you're ready to color it in, but I'm just going to take 2 colors and different colors, and I'm going to make a scarf. I guess I'm going to do pink and blue, which are actually my daughter's 2 favorite colors. But like I said, if you want to just start coloring it independently, you can. I am going to go through and outline my shapes with one of the colors. Then I'm going to make a crisscross design, or do some, I'm going to do some vertical and horizontal lines to make my scarf look plaid. So here I go, doing some vertical lines down, and I can also make some vertical lines down on my scarf. And then I'm going to do 2 horizontals here and some horizontals across here too. Okay, now to just add a little bit more pizzazz to it, I could just leave it like that. But if I want to go in and add some more vertical lines and horizontal lines in a different color, it can really make your scarf look cool. Or you can just color it in, it's up to you. Down here at the bottom, you could just leave it plain, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some little lines down for kind of like that little fringe that comes off of the scarf. That's something I'm going to do. Another thing I could do is color the nose in orange. And I can also color my branches in as well if I want to. So let me go get a few things to do that. Let me find you can use markers or colored pencils. So I'm going to go through and color in the nose orange. And I'm going to color in the twigs or the branches, my snowman's arms. I'm going to color them in brown. I can also go through and just color in the entire top hat black if I want to. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something kind of fun for those that feel like they can handle something slightly more difficult. So maybe some of my second graders, maybe even some of my first graders and kindergartners. But I'm going to show you how to add value. You don't have to do this, everyone. In fact, if you think your snowman's done, you can shut off the video and just color it in and send me a photo of that. But I'm talking about the kids that might be able to handle something slightly more difficult, because I am going to show you how to use just a little bit of value to make your snowman a little bit more three-dimensional. You know, you'll notice here there's a little shadow on one side of our snowman, okay? So in our story or in our picture, the light is coming from this side. So that means this side of the snowman is in shadow, okay? This side's going to be darker because this is in the shadows a little bit, particularly because these are three-dimensional shapes. So, and here's another example of how I did this with the older kids. You can see there's shadows on one side. So this is what you can do if you have the ability. You can now, with your pencil, add a little bit of dark to one side, just kind of lighten it up just a little bit. So it's just like you pressed hard on one side, and then you lightly colored in a little bit. You can even blend a little bit with your finger if you want to get that value, okay? Same thing here on the torso of the snowman. I can go around this side and make it dark, and then this is with a pencil now. This works best with a pencil, and then just lightly go through. What I mean by lightly is press a little bit more lightly, and you get a nice little gray value. And you can even use your finger to blend on top of it a little bit. Just kind of like go around the edge like this with your finger. Same thing for the top of the snowman's head. On this side, I'm just going to darken it, and I'm going to blend it a little. Okay, let's show you how to make a shadow on your snowman's hat. Same thing. I'm going to press darkest over here with my pencil or my colored pencil. It's really good to get a value change with just a pencil. So I'm going darkest on this side, and as I get to the other side, as you'll see here, it's getting lighter and lighter, just like this. So I'm going to press hard on the right side, and I'm going to press less and less as I go to the left. What that means is I'm just lifting up my pencil just slightly. So this is darker, and then I'm just kind of lifting it up a little bit and then making it more of a gray. So we're trying to get it from dark to light. So I'm just kind of lightening it up as I go. And once I get to the other side, it's going to be a very light gray. Now this can be done with colored pencil or just with regular pencil. But if you do want to blend with your finger, since we're using a graphite pencil, it's easier. You can't really blend a colored pencil with your finger, but you can do it with a regular pencil, but not with a colored pencil. Colored pencils can't really blend them with your finger. Oh, same thing for the hat. I'm making it darker over here, and so it's darkest on this side, and as I move to the other side, I'm making it lighter and lighter. So it's like gray all through, and then darkest on the right side. Something else you can do with the nose. at the bottom of the nose, you can add a little shadow there too if you want to. You can do it by darkening with the colored pencil or just with a regular pencil. Okay, I'm going to show now this. Remember, this is for the kids that can really, this is for very accelerated. This might not be for the kindergartners, but maybe for some of the second graders. It's okay if you're not able to do this. I'm just trying to work with people where their ability level is. All right, so on here, if you notice this branch, the bottom edge is shadowed, this side is shadowed, and this part is shadowed. So I'm going to shadow, I'm going to add a little darker line underneath the branch, okay? So here, what I'm going to do with my pencil along the bottom edge is I'm just going to make it a little darker there, a nice dark line. And I'm also going to make it darker underneath the branch that goes down. Here, I'll hold it up here so you can see it a little bit better. I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but I'll demonstrate it on something else. So once again, I'm kind of just going underneath here and underneath this side and underneath this one. Let me show you what that looks like, though, because that was a little bit difficult to understand. Let me get a scrap of paper out here, okay? So if this is a close-up of the arm, okay? Actually, let me do it on a different piece of paper. Sorry, kids. I'm trying to keep thinking of different ideas as I'm talking to you. So, okay. Let me show you what a close-up of an arm would be. So if this is the arm that's coming out of the side of the snowman, right? This is our very large Y. The way I'm making it look a little bit more three-dimensional is on this line, the bottom line, I'm making a dark line. So I'm making it darker down here on the bottom of the line. And I'm also darkening in right here on the bottom part of the branch. So it's just this little part and this little part, right? And one more thing. There's only one more thing I'm going to darken, and it's this area right here. If I do that, it makes it look a little bit more three-dimensional. This is a choice. You don't have to do it. So let me show you what the other side would look like, the other arm, if I was going to darken it in and make it look 3D. Let me show you. So now we're talking of a close-up of this arm. Okay? So here's my torso, side of my torso. Here's my arm. Same thing, just in reverse. Okay, so here we go. Here's the arm. So what I'm going to do, I'm darkening in the bottom part here. This is for the right twig, and I'm going to darken it there. And then the other place I'm going to darken is right here on the side, on the right side of that top little branch. So it'll make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Like I said, it's something you can choose to do if you want to. Okay, that was a very long lesson, but I hope you had fun making your snowman. Please don't forget to email me a photo of your art. I can't wait to see what your snowman looks like. Have a lovely day.